I'm calling it now. The Nationals meta is about to shift majorly. I think we're going to see this weekend a major shift in how the meta is breaking down, and there's a couple of reasons why, so let's talk about it. Starting with the storyline over the past couple of weeks, and that is, of course, Mr. Gravy Bones himself. Gravy Bones is taking a very steady, solid decline over the past couple of weeks. He has done very well and continues to do very well into a wide meta, but a lot of people are starting to target Gravy Bones, and there are very good answers in the meta. We've talked about this already this weekend, a couple of those being Syndra, Kasai, and Prism, but I think we've gotten to that second layer of the metagame, and there's some data to prove it. Here's the data over the past 14 days. Kasai of the Golden Stand in the overall Nationals season is sitting at a 57% win rate across both Nationals and Callings and Battle Hardens. Syndra is sitting at a 55.5% win rate, and then Arachne Slip Through the Cracks is sitting at a 55.1% win rate. Those three heroes are sitting towards the top over the past 14 days. You scroll down a little bit, you've got Dash.io, Verdant's Thorn of the Rose, and of course, Gravy Bones. They're lurking in the next couple of spots with Arachne Marionette and Prism Awakener of Soul rounding out this first top 8 heroes. But I don't think it's going to stay that way. In fact, if we just change this to the past 7 days, which would include basically the last weekend's Nationals, Callings, Battle Hardens, that sort of thing, the data already changes, and the two heroes I want to talk about, which are, in perhaps my opinion, the next on the list to usurp the top decks of the format, in Arachne, Slip Through the Cracks, and Dash.io now sit at the top. Look at these win rates. Now, it's only 90 matches, and it's only 104 matches. So, take that with a grain of salt, and it would probably taste better. But either way, these two heroes do a couple of things very well. Thing number one, Arachne Slip Through the Cracks answers Gravy Bones just like some of these other heroes do. So if there is a large amount of Gravy Bones players in any given Nationals meta or any given major tournament meta, then Arachne Slip Through the Cracks, a fine answer. It is a 50% win rate, so it's literally a coin flip. You're fine taking that, right? But Arachne Slip Through the Cracks is a good answer to Syndra, which is perhaps going to be the most popular deck on the weekend, unless Gravy still holds on to the top spot. Arachne Slip Through the Cracks is okay against Kasai, but is also very good against Dash.io, a hero that could be starting to climb the ranks a little bit. Now, keep in mind, both of these heroes are sitting at like 3% of the meta, maybe 4% of the meta in the case of Dash.io. Both of them are kind of in that dark horse role. They're lurking in the wings waiting for their opportunity to strike, and this could be the weekend that they do this. I would very much have my eyes on Arachne Slip Through the Cracks this weekend to see if he starts to pull through and pull out some top 8 finishes, because this would be the weekend to do it. If we look at the overall matchup matrix, and this is taking in all Nationals events, all national matches, anything that is in this national season, it collected at 225 matches, has an overall 55.6% win rate across all of those. It has a positive win rate into Dash.io, a positive win rate into Syndra Drakai of Retribution, both of these 60+% win rates. Again, positive into Gravy Bones. I think where I really care about as well is it's also positive into Prism Awakener of Soul. So if people say, okay, I want to answer both Syndra and Gravy Bones, I can do that with Prism Awakener of Soul because my numbers are just better than both of theirs if they don't bring poppers. Well, Arachne Slip Through the Cracks has a solid record against her as well at 8-5. Now keep in mind, again, some of these are smaller compared to something like 9-7 or 13-8. So on and so forth, right? So some of these do have less data points, but this is showing the actual paper games played already in the national season. And I think there's more credence that should be lent to that, and you should be more aware of that going through this. Now, the one thing, if we are looking at this, there have only been 2 games played between Arachne Slipped Through the Cracks and Kasai of the Golden Sand, and Kasai won both of those. So if you're expecting Kasai to make a major resurgence, which she very well could if we pin her up here as well at 55.4% win rate, she could make a resurgence. If that's the case, then maybe Arachne doesn't move forward as much. Dash.io, though, and interestingly enough, Dash.io has a very solid matchup into Kasai. She just does really strong numbers. Kasai overall has strong numbers into Arachne. So there's like this really interesting next level of trying to beat Syndra, trying to beat Gravy Bones, and maybe even trying to beat Prism. And all 3 of these heroes have a positive win rate, albeit slightly for Kasai, but a positive win rate into Prism, and that's a major point. Also a positive win rate into Gravy Bones and a positive win rate into Syndra. So if you're targeting those 3 heroes, these are the heroes I would look at that also have some pretty positive matchups across the board. And I would even say this, Arachne Slipped Through the Cracks has struck me so strongly looking at the data and looking at some of the overall results. And of course, this could be results from, what's the best way to put it? From like battle hardens and callings, and maybe not the actual nationals themselves. Regardless, the positive win rates across so many of these matchups means that Arachne Slipped Through the Cracks really has me scratching my head wondering why we haven't seen more of it. And if you have a comment, if you know why Arachne Slipped Through the Cracks hasn't punched into that top 8 a few more times compared to, you know, another hero like a Kasai or really like Gravy Bones, for example, let me know in a comment below. I'm very curious to see that, because I do think that we are shifting out of the Gravy Bones being like, you know, 3 in the top 8s across these national seasons to maybe 1 making it, or maybe a much harder field. I think that is the struggle that Gravy Bones has, is that he has to play into a much more polarizing field than a couple of these other types of heroes that can hedge around more matchups across the board. And then we go 1 layer further. If you're trying to beat any of these heroes, for example, Arachne Slipped Through the Cracks, maybe you pivot back to Florian. Maybe Florian now is the answer to the 3rd layer. I mean, if you're going really, really deep, Florian could be the answer to Arachne and Dash.io. It's a coin flip against Kasai, and it is slightly favored against Syndra. And then you look at like the Prism matchup, it's not good. So if Prism does come back, not good. Gravy Bones, if Gravy Bones is still strong, it's not his time. It's not his time to come back, because Florian just doesn't have the tools to deal with that board state that Gravy Bones can provide. The other question mark that you should be asking yourself, what about Guardians? Because Victor can now really come out to play again. Right now, Victor, much maligned, is the Guardian class for just a while longer as the heroes continue to grow and gain in the points that are the cards that they'll be getting with the Guardian Mastery Pack. But Victor has a strong win rate against Dash.io. Victor has a strong win rate against Prism, obviously, as an answer to Prism. And then a couple of other more ancillary heroes that could be answers as well. I also want to point out the possibility of Dorinthia Ironsong as a response to, and let's put her up there, as a response to Gravy Bones as well. A very, very strong Gravy Bones record at 10-4 with a 71% win rate. Dorinthia could be one of those dark horses as well, and there could be a build where she acts sort of like a switchboard, where she does play some amount of hatchets. Hatchets into Kasai is very consistent, and it is a very skill matchup. So it could be a scenario where like Dorinthia has some sort of a switchboard plan into heroes like Kasai, but she could just run out Dawnblade and do the Dawnblade thing and be successful in that way as well. The real trick would be trying to win some of these more tough matchups, and like looking at Syndra, pretty decent into Syndra, looking at Prism, not good at all into Prism, looking at Arachne Slipped Through the Cracks, not good at all there either. But the real question mark is whether or not you're going to be seeing more of these Gravy Bones. I think this is the weekend where we start to see a major shift in people's thinking. They're not going to be thinking so much about Gravy Bones as the top dog. They're going to be thinking about Syndra as that best hero in the format, or at least the hero that you should be answering. There are perhaps 2 to 3 heroes. Syndra is now firmly entrenched after winning 4 events in one of those places. Gravy Bones, of course, I think is going to continue to be on everyone's mind, and that is fine because he is the different deck. He's the linchpin, like you have to build your deck to do something against me, otherwise I just win the match. But I think Syndra is now the target, and if she's the target, there are some other good aggressive options that also beat Gravy. And that's what I'm very curious to see. So let me know what you think about this upcoming weekend. Make some predictions down there. I'm going to predict that Syndra is going to fall off. And I'm going to predict that Arachne Slip Through the Cracks is going to surge a little bit alongside of Dash.io. I think they each pick up 2 wins apiece, which is definitely bigger than maybe some people are giving them credit for, because I haven't heard very much chatter around these 2. And of course, when this goes live, we're already going to be seeing the first of those nationals play out, maybe multiple at the same time, because the UK nationals is going to be televised. So go over to the FabTCG website and specifically their YouTube channel where the stream will be going on, and maybe I will see you there. If you enjoy this type of content talking about the game you love, make the number go to the other number. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.